best
Look,
of. But it's not. I mean, it is. It's like the fourth player you signed. That's
listen, regardless of his up and down season, right? Because it was an up and down season with the New York Yankees. He did finish strong. The last month and a half of the season, he put up solid numbers. It's just those first couple of months were pretty bad for Devin Williams. Now, if you're a Met fan, is this your closer for the future, or is he's here just to be the bridge guy so you guys can get Edwin Diaz back? What's your thoughts on that, Ro?
Well, he apparently, according to Anthony DeCuomo, he's already said he's not opposed to pitching in the eighth inning, which I love that. If they need him to close, he closes. I personally think this is a setup man move. I wouldn't be devastated if he's the guy. I wouldn't be. I'd be devastated with Diaz leaving, of course, but if the replacement is Devin Williams, I guess I'm all right with that.
Yeah, and again, like I said, Devin Williams not bad. Like
no,
a lot of Yankee fans, blew it out of proportion because that's what Yankee fans do. I think Devin Williams had a solid season with the New York Yankees. It wasn't his all-star year and dominant closer year as in years prior, but he had a solid season. And like I said, it was rocky at first, but he finished the season strong.
He did, and you know what? I think it was more impressive that he had such a bad start, and it didn't fold him pretty much. He still came back, pitched, like you said, finished strong, and that's not easy to do in New York.
I want to say, give me a second because I got to shout out some people on the StreamYard chat. Shout out to Jacob Petruzzi in the building. We are live on TikTok right now. If you guys are watching us on the Tube of You, the YT account, we are live on TikTok. If you want to join us, come on over to TikTok. You can join up on the open panel. It's myself, my guy Roro, JV from JBM Sports Media Group. Brew is going to be here in a second to join us. If you're watching us on TikTok, keep on double tap the screen. Shout out to my guy Delulu, Yankee fan, who is in the building. Hayden Bayer, how are you doing? We got Italian Stallion in the chat on TikTok. We got Morgan in the building. Morgan, I hope all is good. Shout out to everybody who is in the building. Make sure you guys are following both Roro and JV as well. My fault for the PSA, guys.
No, good.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, listen. I think this is Ro was saying that he thinks Diaz is going to come back. I think this is a early sign that he's not coming back. I think $17 million for a setup man is a little bit too much for me. I think it's more maybe 12 to 13 million for a setup man. 17 million a year to me means he's the closer. That's just how I feel. Like I said, there's no opt-outs. It's a true 3-year deal, which to me is, I think, Steve Cohen setting himself up for a potential, a split with Edwin Diaz. I really didn't think that was going to happen, but I think this move tonight kind of puts that into perspective a little bit. I had the Mets re-signing him, but I think with the Mets going after Williams now, I think it just shows that they may see something that we're not seeing yet. I think maybe the writing is on the wall that he's not coming back.
What about you, Roro?
I don't think that's the case. They've already come out and said they're interested in bringing him back. This doesn't hinder them from doing that. Steve Cohen has shown he wants to spend. If you don't think this man is pissed off with how things went last season, then I think you're beside yourself. So he's going to make every move possible. What was the two biggest issues going into last season? Well, that essentially ended the Mets season last year: defense and bullpen. He just addressed that twice. He just addressed two of their biggest issues. So, and it's not over with, So.
You definitely need a bat because you also had some struggles producing some runs too at the end, towards the end of the year. The Mets had some.
I wouldn't say they really had a problem with that.
I want to say my fault real quick. Shout out to Jesse for the heart me. I appreciate you. John in the building. Brooke Knows Baseball is here. Brooke Knows Ball. Guys, if you guys aren't following Brooke, make sure you guys go and follow Brooke. Dope content creator on TikTok. Brooke, I see you blowing up. I see you glowing up. Shout out to you. I hope all is well with you. I miss baseball. I know we all miss baseball. Shout out to everybody who was in the chat. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the bio. I put the link in the chat. Uptown Sports TV for the TikTok, so you guys can come on over, join us over on TikTok if you want to come up for the open panel. Sienna, how are you doing? Who else we got here? We got Fuzzy Wuzzy in the chat being a jobber. So now that the Devin Williams smoke has cleared, I think this sets it up perfectly for Cody Bellinger to be a Yankee. I mean, to be a Met.
You think so?
Yeah, I think this sets it up perfectly because when you look at Edwin Diaz is probably going to get $20+ million a season. I don't think he'll be a closer next year if he walks for the Dodgers because I think the Dodgers are favorites to land Edwin Diaz. I think this opens up perfectly after the Brandon Nimmo trade for you guys to sign Cody Bellinger.
First, what up, Fuzzy? Secondly,
Steph, what up?
What's up, Fuzz?
I don't know if this is going to have any bearings on Cody Bellinger. From what I've also heard, they're in on Kyle Tucker, apparently, silently. I don't know. Listen, the Mets, for the most part, they've been kind of moving in silence, which has been kind of nice. I know they said they were interested in Williams, and obviously they did this. They were shopping Brandon Nimmo, who knew they had a trade that was basically kept in the dark for 3 days before Nimmo accepted the deal. So I like what they're doing. They're addressing the issues from last season. They are not ignoring them. They're not pretending they don't exist. They're going full frontal at that. And again, I don't think Williams stops the Mets or hinders the Mets from bringing back Diaz or bringing in a guy like Robert Suarez. And Williams coming out and saying that he's open to pitching in the 8th inning. I think that's huge off the rip. I love hearing that because that just brings potential versatility to the bullpen.
When you look at Devin Williams and his numbers, I put it up on some Mets Muse. Shout out to Mets Muse. I actually know the person that runs that account, who says between 2021 and 2024, Devin Williams and 206 games pitched. He has 195 innings, a 1.89 ERA, 97 walks, 308 strikeouts, and 68 saves in that time span. If you guys can get half of that or a quarter of that of Devin Williams, that's a better version of Devin Williams than what he was last year.
That's fair.
So I look at last year as an outlier for Devin Williams. One, coming to a big city, first time in New York, first year in New York. Two, moving from the National League to the American League. It always takes some time to learn the different hitters in a new league, their tendencies. And he's coming into the American League East, one of the toughest divisions in all of Major League Baseball. One of the teams that he struggled against, a team that he gave up, I want to say about 3 or 4 blown saves, was the team that eventually went to the World Series in the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think this is a very sneaky signing from the Mets. Shout out to Comey in the chat. Guys, we got over 60 people in the building. If you guys can, keep on double tapping that screen. Let's try to get to 10K likes. Also, make sure you guys follow my guy JV and Roro, especially the JBM Sports account.
Very much appreciate it.
Of course. Go ahead.
No, I just like I said, I don't see Diaz coming back now. I really don't. I don't think Cohen is going to want to pay Diaz 21 or 22 million a year to be a closer when he could just have a guy like Devin Williams who's closed before. He's closed in high leverage situations. Obviously, he's pitched to New York. I know it wasn't a great first season, but at least it's under his belt and he's gotten it out of the way. I just don't see how he spends nearly $40 million on a setup guy and a closer. I just don't think it's contingent to winning baseball. I don't think you need $40 million tied up in a closer and a setup man. And like I said, I think the Mets now, they need to address their left field situation. They do need a bat. And I think that's a little more important than potentially, signing Diaz now, because you kind of have the stopgap in Williams. And I think you need to focus on getting a bat. And it's either Bellinger, or maybe is it Tucker. I know Schwarber was a name that I saw on SNY. They had reported that, Schwarber was a potential landing spot for the Mets, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. Him and Soto in that lineup would be pretty wild. But, now what does that leave Pete Alonso to? Do the Mets throw another 35, 40 million at him? Like, they have some questions. They definitely have a lot of questions to keep answering right now.
I want to shout out some people in the chat. Miat Mala, Leandra in the building. Leandra, I hope all is well. Happy Thanksgiving. I was seeing your videos you was posting on Thanksgiving. That food looked good. Shout out to you. The Pinstripe Bugle is in the building. Guys, make sure you guys go and follow the Pinstripe Bugle. I'm going to pin this comment. It's not letting me pin it. What the hell? Make sure you guys going to follow the Pinstripe Bugle. And without further ado, we got the third person up here. Our guy, Brew. He got stuck in traffic.
Very bad conditions. Very bad conditions out here, bro. But yes, I've made it. And better time to talk about us having this signing that just came out of nowhere. Obviously, me being a Brewers fan, I kind of find it very poetic, to be honest with you. Devin Williams to the Mets. Bro, I kind of just laugh at it. Not because I think it's a bad deal, but just because obviously the history behind it.
I brought up before you came up, Brew. I brought it up. Like, when you look at the numbers from Devin Williams, last year was an outlier. He's going back to the National League with signing with the New York Mets, a league that he's more familiar with than the American League. Coming into a new division, the AL East, one of the toughest divisions that are out there to play in Major League Baseball. One of the teams he struggled the most against was the team that went to the World Series in the Toronto Blue Jays. So I think that the Mets is a very sneaky signing for them. I think Devin Williams is going to do good in Queens.
Honestly, I could see that. And I think of it like this. Is there a way that he could end up being the closer there? I could honestly see it, to be honest. If, let's say, Diaz and Suarez goes elsewhere. I know JB has talked about Suarez going to the Dodgers. I really like that. And Diaz, I still feel like Diaz should be a Met. I think Cohen should spend the bag for Diaz. And I think that would be a great tandem right there, setting up Diaz. But I could see Devin Williams getting the opportunity if Diaz doesn't come back, being that ninth inning guy.
Yeah, I was saying before you got here, Brew, that I think at $17 million a year, which is what he's getting, I think he's the closer. I think Diaz is gone. I really do. I don't see how Cohen is going to want to spend $40+ million on two back-end bullpen pieces.
So I have to counter that if I can for a second.
Go ahead, brother.
In what way, shape, or form do you not believe that Steve Cohen is not going to spend money? He gave Max Scherzer $40 million. He gave Justin Verlander $40 million. He gave Juan Soto $765 million. He is willing to spend money. Just because he got a setup man at 17 doesn't tell you that he won't go get a closer at 22. The biggest issue for the Mets last year with a bullpen, it was embarrassing and it cost them a playoff spot. So why wouldn't he go balls to the walls and address the bullpen with two of the best pieces that are potentially out there?
Because
I don't think that's a thing.
I do think it's a thing. It doesn't matter that he's willing to spend. You still want to spend correctly. Just because you're willing to spend, doesn't mean you're going to blow everything, on a closer. I think they have to address left field now, and I think that's going to add to the payroll. And I think listen, I know he's got money. I know he's willing to spend. I'm not saying he's not willing to spend. What I'm saying is I don't think that Diaz is now in play. I think Diaz is going to walk. I think at $17 million a year, he's going to maybe fill the rest of the pen with middle relievers that could strengthen the bridge to Williams. And I think that they're going to add a left fielder. It's going to be a high leverage left fielder, a guy like Tucker, a guy like Bellinger, and maybe even a Kyle Schwarber. I do think they're in play for one of those guys, and they're going to have to pay one of those guys big money. And I don't think he's going to want to spend almost $40 million on those two guys. I just don't see it. I think he could get cheaper bridges to Devin Williams, and then throw a lot of money on one of those left fielders, one of those outfielders that he's going to have to address.
I would say, and I'll toss it over to Roro because he is the only Met fan on the panel. Shout out to my guy E in the building, the Pinstripe Bugle. What up, brother?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
What's up, man?
Of course. We'll get it over to you in a second. But I think there's the only thing that's going to stop Steve Cohen from spending money this offseason is it has nothing to do with baseball, right? The one thing that's going to stop Steve Cohen from spending money is what happens. I think there's a court hearing coming up that's going to determine if that casino is going to get built in Queens or not. Because I've been saying it from the beginning. As much as Steve Cohen is a Met fan and he loves to spend money on his vanity project,
I think it is. It got passed today. I think it got passed today. He got the license today for downstate.
It got passed. So if it got passed, he's opened it up. He's opened it up.
June 2030. It's going to be finished.
Copy. So that it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The jet lag. I didn't even see the news. The jet lag is killing me. That's going to be the reason if Steve Cohen spends money on that. Because as much as he loves the Mets, as much as he loves being a Met fan, the only reason he brought the New York Mets was because he wanted that
Yes.
casino in Queens.
Yeah, I heard
That's
about
it.
that. Yeah, casino's a done deal. That was wrapped. That was actually released today. I think that he won that bid or whatever.
Yeah, because it got put.
it's
It
gonna
got
be
put
wrapped
on.
up.
It was put on pause by a federal court.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it won. It won, and he's got the green light. And in 2030, it'll be done.
Yep, it just came out within the past 6 hours that the Mets owner Steve Collins get green light for his casino. Okay,
Yep.
so bingo.
Yeah, he's been
I think
spending
that
a ton.
just means he's going to open up the
money.
books, like you said.
Yeah, I can see that too, bro. I really could. I feel like for the Mets now, I think I was just gonna say I think obviously Diaz is a priority, but when looking at the outfield, I really think that they're gonna shift their focus on just getting that Bellinger thing or going full on. I mean, maybe even Tucker as well. I'm not saying that's not a possibility, but fit that spot in the outfield. I think Devin Williams, there's a cushion there and an opportunity there, like I said, for him to be the closer. And I think that'll be another chance, like Heck said. Last year was an outlier year for him. Guy's been very good throughout his career. So I have full confidence that he could bounce back as a closer. I really do. Truly, I do. And I think the Mets now shift their attention in, one, bringing back Alonso, or two, just getting that outfielder. And what is more important to them right now? I don't know. I really don't know.
What do you think, Roro?
Well, now that I'm sitting here and this is swirling in my head, if I feel like this is going to affect anybody going forward as far as being brought back, I think this affects Pete Alonso. I don't think this affects Edwin Diaz, because the biggest thing that Stearns and Cohen and the Mets organization have come out and said is run prevention, which Brandon Nimmo has trolled in his press conference with Texas. I'm sure most of you saw that. Run prevention and pitching.
Mm-hmm.
So Pete Alonso does not fit the criteria for run prevention. No disrespect to his game defensively. It's not terrible, but it's also not great. There are better defensive options at first base. So if they're going to go down the route of run prevention with some offense and pitching, they're setting themselves up to bring in Diaz to be the closer, Devin Williams to be their eighth inning guy. You can get Cody to play left field. If you get another guy, Cody can slide in at first. He's versatile. He can play anywhere. They're really high on this kid Benj to maybe take over the center field spot. If he makes the team, we'll see how that plays out. But I actually think this hurts bringing back Alonso, not so much Diaz.
Yeah. That's honestly a fair point. And I know you have brought up the name Bellinger, and so did I, because I saw a report that came out today talking about the Yankees and Bellinger. They're at a little bit of a crossroad right now between like the years, I believe. That's what I'm hearing. And that could be a thing where, like, I also saw another report. I saw a content creator make that the Yankees' backup plan is Kyle Tucker. First of all, that is kind of crazy.
That's a crazy backup plan. He needs
That's
to be the number one
wild.
plan.
Yeah,
that should be the main plan. That should be the main plan, not the backup plan, bro. I mean, I know that they value Bellinger big time, and like I said, he's a very good player. And wherever he goes, I feel like obviously he's gonna make it worth a while, the contract. Even if he does go to Queens, I think Bellinger would be a great fit on that team. But the fact that, there's a little bit of a disconnect that could be fixed at the end of the day between the Yankees and Bellinger's camp. I just feel like maybe you just go pivot completely for Tucker if I'm the Yankees. I mean, not saying completely forget Bellinger, but like at the same time, who's the better player. Let's not act goofy here.
You're right. And for the extra 3 or 4 years that Tucker's going to get at $40 to $50 million more, he's worth it. He's the better ball player.
He's the better. Yeah, he's the better ball player.
Go sign him
like
for 10 years, $400 million. Go do it.
The Yankees game their plan A should be Kyle Tucker and Imai. That should be their plan A. But in reality, the Yankees are going to settle for Cody Bellinger and bring back Michael King. That's going to be the Yankees offseason, right? Shout out to my guy Chris Kirshner, one of the Yankees beat writers, but he put something up trolling Yankee fans because Yankee fans are adding him on Twitter. Can the Yankees do something? And he's like, yeah, they re-signed Trent Grisham and Ryan Yarbrough. I want to get my guy E in on the conversation, the Pinstripe Bugle. Also, too, guys, make sure you guys are following everybody that's up here on the panel. If you guys can give the people that are on the panel as well. We are almost at 10,000 likes. Keep on double tapping that screen. E, let's get your thoughts on the Devin Williams signing and also everything that's going on with Cody Bellinger. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, as a Yankees fan who watched them all last year, if I was a Mets fan, I wouldn't be too happy with this move. That's a lot of money for Williams, and you already had that with Diaz. I would rather just get Diaz back. I've heard you all talk about the holes in the Mets team. Their starting rotation is not good. You need to address that. Instead of going after two back-end relievers, you need to get some starters. But it doesn't matter if you have back-end guys if you're losing the game. You need to go get some starters. I don't know. I think this Stearns coming from Milwaukee probably love Williams, but I don't know. That's a lot of money for Williams, in my opinion. I don't mind if the Yankees let him go.
That's fair.
He was a roller coaster ride.
The Cardiac Williams is what Yankee fans. First it was Cardiac Clay, and then it transferred over to Cardiac Williams. But Roro, I want to ask you, with E bringing up the starting rotation, what's more of a priority for you as a Met fan? Getting that number one starter in your rotation, locking down a left fielder, or securing your closer, whether that be Edwin Diaz or somebody else? What's a priority for you, or should be for the Mets?
Well, I think they're going to touch on all cylinders, but I think as of right now, it just depends on what's, for lack of a better word, what's flourishing at the moment. What's hot? What's the hot button issue? What can get done? I think that's realistic of what they're going. They know what their needs are. They know what they need to attack. And when the opportunity presents itself on what they can go get to better their team, I think that's what they're going to do. Realistically, I would love to see a big shot number one as a starting pitcher. They do need that. It needs to be addressed, which eventually I do think it will. Timing on when they do what, I don't necessarily think that essentially matters. But I think they have their eyes on a bunch of different options. And just when the opportunity presents, they're going to strike because they're already, it's going to be a hot winner. That's for sure.
I want to shout out some folks in the chat. My guy M7 in the building. Savion is in the building. Shout out to Baby Pack as well in the building. My good friend Leandra is here. Italian Stallion is still rocking out with us. Jose Maldonado. If you guys can, keep on double tapping that screen. Follow everybody that's up here on the panel. Whoever wants to take it, Brew, JV, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to point something out. I think with the Red Sox, I saw a report coming out of the Red Sox camp on how they're going to heavily pursue Pete Alonso. I think what Mike just said right now, I think he's probably right to an extent. I think this only furthers the chances of a reunion between Pete Alonso and the Mets, to be honest, because they have more holes to fill in. And obviously, I feel like they do have a chance where they could put maybe Vientos at first, or they could bring up Clifford. They have options what they could do at first. Or, they could always go maybe a cheap route. I don't know, maybe like a more cheaper route, like a Ryan O'Hearn or something like that. Who knows? I'm just saying there's other options. This today makes me feel like Pete Alonso going back to Queens is little by little becoming more unlikely, especially with how I saw that the Red Sox are going to heavily pursue him. I think he's gonna get his money. That's all I will say. I think he's going to get his money.
I want to shout out. We got over 60 people watching us on YouTube and X. So shout out to everybody that's watching us over there. We're live on TikTok because we love TikTok over here. JV, go ahead, brother.
No, listen, I think I had Alonso going to Boston from the get-go, from the whole start of offseason. That's who I picked him to go to. I think the Red Sox are done with Tristan Casas. I think that's an experiment that is now, you could easily say that's flushed down the toilet for all intents and purposes. I think Alonso's bat in Fenway would be just phenomenal. I think he has the ability to go the other way with that short porch and right, because it's not too deep of a right field area, and obviously off the green monster in left field, I think he would literally do damage. And I think his average would actually see, a boost as well, his overall batting average, just from hitting off that monster. So, I still think Boston is going to give him a 6 to 7 year deal. I see them locking it up and giving him what he wants. Honestly, I think they lack the power bat, and it was evident in the playoffs. So they had Alonso, they'll be right back in the AL East as a threat. So I can see them getting Alonso.
One thing I want to mention about the counter to the Yankees and everything like that. Look, I think obviously we had the conversation point last live about Hal Steinbrenner, basically saying this and that, revenue, this and that. And, he got crapped on big time. Go get a guy like Tucker. You saw what Soto in that lineup did. Get a guy like Tucker and pair him up with Judge. I kid you not. Nobody's going to be saying anything, bro. Nobody's going to be saying anything. The results are going to be there, bro. At
Absolutely.
Yankee Stadium, come on, bro. Like, you got the money, and they got the money for it. Don't BS it. You know they do.
No, of course they do, and they made $800 million in revenue. It's public knowledge. Everybody knows they made.
You can't say revenue equal profits according to Hal Stein.
Yeah, okay. So after everything is said and done, he had $380 million that he could have put in his pocket. So I don't want to hear nothing.
Listen, when you gotta pay $100 million in taxes to New York City,
Listen, that's a lot of money because it's definitely more than the taxes I pay. But I'm not crying over spilled milk. I can tell you that much if I'm Hal Steinbrenner. But
you know what annoys me about that statement? I toss it over to E and everybody else. You know what annoys me is the fact that he says, we got to pay $100 million to the city of New York. Yeah, the fucking Dodgers do the same thing with LA, if not more.
Well, that's the stadium. That's the stadium tax they're still paying off from 2009. That's the new stadium that was incentivized in their. It was negotiated in their deal that they would have to pay $100 million over a certain amount of years to pay off the stadium. So I don't know what he was complaining about. He makes it sound like they're getting taxed because of the Yankees.
And you know what's also too, the MLB national TV deal is like 1.3 or 1.4 billion. You take that money, 1.4 billion, and you split that up with the 30 teams. At the beginning of the season, every team gets $100 million from the TV deal off rip. So your taxes are paid for just off of the TV deal.
Yeah, he knows. We're not stupid.
Come on, bro.
He knows.
And if I go missing next week, you know why.
Right. Listen, heck, I got no money, man. I can't save you.
I just want to let everybody know I will be live. I'm leaving. I'm going to be covering the MLB winter meeting. So I'm going to be live every day. And these 3 and these 4 fellas are going to be with me every time. So Brew Crew going to be there. Roro going to be there. JV going to be there. My guy E from the Pinstripe Bugle is going to be there as well. So we will be live every day covering the winter meetings. Whatever news you guys want to get, we'll have it for you right then and there. I don't think there's going to be any other accounts on TikTok that's going to be doing it, right? We may get people walking by for a little interview here or there. So I can't wait. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be dope, man. That's awesome.
Super excited for it, bro.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Well,
Copy.
Next year we're gonna join you, brother.
Yeah, I can't wait. Make sure, and then also, if nobody's ever done it, been to the winter meetings, go ahead. It's a good time to just sit down. You have random GMs, random former baseball players, managers, hold on. Sorry, I'm getting a text message. My fault. Somebody go ahead, grab it.
All right, I got you. Obviously, we look at the Dylan Cease contract. This is something I wanted to bring up. And I know Framber Valdez had the situation with the cross-up and everything like that. Do you think he's going to get a contract lower or higher than Dylan Cease year-wise? Do you think he's going to get maybe 4 to 5 years, or do you think he'll reach that 6-year mark?
I think he gets a 5-year deal. I think his age has a little bit to do with it. I wouldn't go past 4 or 5 years personally for him. And if you look at his playoff career as well, it's not the best.
Yep.
So you gotta take that into consideration. So I'm not sure. I definitely see a team that needs to start him. Giving him a 5-year deal. I think he's won 6. I think that was somewhere in the ballpark that he won 6 years. But I wouldn't go 6 years for Framber Valdez.
I wouldn't be shocked if he gets it.
Me either. I wouldn't be shocked either.
I completely agree with that.
When you look at his numbers, right? Since 2021, he's pitched over 130 innings. You can say 2022, he had 200 innings, then 198, 176, 192. This guy is a workhorse, especially nowadays when starting pitchers rarely go past the 6th inning. When you look at his win-losses over the past few years, double digits in wins, 17, 12, 15, 13. He's had some injury issues, but when you look at his ERA has been under 3.30 in that 4 or 5 year span. it's to me what's alarming is he's kind of been the ace or been the quote unquote pseudo ace for the Houston Astros for the past 3 or 4 years. And if they're willing to just let him walk for somebody else, to me that's red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree with that.
This is what I will say. I think that Crossup situation really have a lot of teams looking at him different because, if there's an attitude problem he might be bringing on to like a team, a lot of people are going to take that into consideration, truly. And I do believe there's still a good market for him, whether it's, like Jay said, 4 or 5 years. Maybe he does get that 6th year. And I don't know. It's just going to be very interesting. I think he could be one of those guys that sign a little bit later, maybe after the winter meetings. It's just, I don't know. I feel like he has a very complicated market right now, to be honest.
Somebody on YouTube, shout out to Ocean Views and Ocean View Coffee Shop, who says, you know what, Valdez would actually make a good Met with his mentality.
I'm thinking he was going to go to the Mets too. That's what I've been saying.
There's been linking reports over it. It wouldn't be a surprise. I wouldn't see it as a surprise if he goes to the Mets.
Listen, I think if he goes to the Mets, and I'm on record by saying this, the Mets, they need a number 1 ace. They need a number 1 starter in their rotation. Framber Valdez is not a number 1 starter. He's a number 2. He's a solid number 2. He's a real great number 3 starter. The Mets need Tariq Skubal in that starting rotation. That's who they need. They need to take their prospects. They need to call up Detroit, and they need to trade for Skubal. They need an ace, and they need somebody who's a proven ace, not somebody that has the potential to be an ace. They need a proven ace at the top of that rotation.
And that's what. And I agree with you, Hector. And I think that's why Skubal to the Mets makes a lot of sense. And that's why I don't think Cohen is going to give the dollars to Diaz, because I think he's going to want to either they're going to trade for him or they're going to give it to him in free agency. And I think he's going to want to listen. I know he could offer Skubal the bag even if they get Diaz. I'm just saying. I think he's going to be a little smart about it because the man is bleeding money into this team. It's roughly lost $360 million. At some point, he's not going to want to keep losing money. Okay, so I think he's going to set his sights on the big fish, and the big fish to me is Tariq Skubal, and I think he's going to go after him with every penny he has left.
Yo, E, I want to get your last thoughts on this before I let you down because I got another person that I want to bring up, and I just want to keep it to like 4 extra people on the panel. Yep. So, E, when it comes down to the Mets, their offseason, I know you cover the Yankees mostly. What do you think the Mets are going to go this offseason?
I wouldn't be shocked if they go all in on Cody Bellinger. I think he just fits a bunch of their needs. I think he's probably on the top of their priority. You can play him in left. You can play him at first if Pete goes to the Red Sox. Him, depending on the money and the years with him, you can still go out and get whatever pitching you need. I think he fits all their holes. I wouldn't be shocked if the Yankees have a very underwhelming offseason if he doesn't go back. I don't have much faith in the Yankees willing to spend or go after Tucker. So I think, it wouldn't be shocking if the Mets pry another guy away from the Yankees this year.
All right. Well, E, appreciate you coming up, brother. Like I said, I look forward to next week. As long as you can make it, you'll have a seat on this panel. We'll love to have you up here, bro.
Thank you. Everyone have a good one.
You too, brother. Have a good one.
Have a good one. I'm gonna bring up Froggy so you can tell us about the 50th ranked prospect in the Houston Astros farm system. Froggy, my guy. What's up, baby?
All right.
Froggy, you did. I just muted him because I'm not sure if he meant to join. Froggy, what up, Froggy? You gotta unmute yourself though. I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk.
No. I'm here. I'm finishing these dishes real quick. If you have to drop to bring someone else up, that's really cool. But that's cool.
All right, bet. All right, so let us know in the comment section when you're done. You go come up.
Sure, for sure.
All right. I got Froggy. Got to wash some dishes. See what happens when you don't wash the dishes after din. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's amazing.
So happens when your team doesn't make the playoffs.
Make sure you guys double tap the screen. We got over 30 people in the building. We got over 70 on YouTube. So I appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you guys smack that like button, hit that follow button. Whoever wants to take the convo can take it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Obviously, we see the report that was now established. I think it was by Mike Puma from NY Post. I mean, you see now that it's out, the Lindor and Soto and everything like that. It's one of those things when you hear chilly relationship, it's like, how do these guys really interact? And obviously, we've seen videos throughout the regular season. I just want people to remember that of like certain moments where Soto looked a little bit not to himself, but certain celebrations. You could see how like they were just not interacting with each other. And maybe that's just, it's business at the end of the day. They don't really get along outside of it. And they just keep it cordial. Maybe that's the way they look at it. But I just feel like it's so like, I don't know. I don't know how that ends up like if there's a solution. I'm not saying it's like a deteriorating relationship at its finest, but is it something that is going to be an alarming point throughout this season coming up? Or I don't know.
Well, I mean, if they're still at a crossroads somehow, and it gets to the point where it becomes ugly, do the Mets consider trading Francisco Lindor?
I think yes.
Let's be realistic.
I think yes. You're going to do whatever you can to make your $765 million man happy.
Yeah,
If that's
I
the
think
case,
it's a
if their
possibility.
relationship is not fixable.
Right, and I think, like I said, if it spills into the media and they're fighting in the clubhouse, yelling, screaming, and fists or whatever the case may be, like it gets ugly, do they consider it? I honestly think they do, and honestly, before it gets to that point, they may even consider it then. If it catches wind to management.
I say no, and to the Mets ever trading Francisco Lindor for one reason and one reason only. Francisco Lindor is from the same place in Puerto Rico Steve Cohen's wife is. There's a certain relationship that Francisco Lindor his family have with the Cohens because of that relationship, especially her father. I've seen it. Whenever I'm on the field, whenever Mrs. Cohen is out there, shout out to Mrs. Cohen, amazing, Titi Alex. Whenever she's there, the relationship that she has with Lindor is literally like a titi, like an aunt and a nephew relationship. Like it's deeper than baseball when it comes to them. Now, on the flip side to that, is there tension or whatever? I don't think there's tension like people are trying to make it out to be. Like there's crazy beef. I don't think Lindor and Soto are going to scrap with each other like Lindor did with Jeff McNeil on more than one occasion. I don't think that's going to happen between him and Soto. I just think it's a just different dynamic. Soto is very reserved, very laid back. He's just like Aaron Judge. Francisco Lindor is totally different. Francisco Lindor is out there. He dyes his hair. He dyes it either blonde, silver, depending on what happens with the World Baseball Classic, which I'm going to keep my eye on because I'll be dyeing my beard depending on what fucking color the PR team dyes their hair. So just be on the lookout for that.
Nice.
But I honestly think that a lot of people are trying to make it a bigger situation than what it is. I know personally and I'm not going to get too much into it saying who or whatever. I just know when Latino Sports was presenting our awards to both of them, one of them didn't want to do it at the same time. They wanted separate. They wanted to be separate award presentation. I'm not going to say who. You guys could speculate on your own, but that's what I know.
But it's like, to me, bro, it's I don't know. It's nothing that I feel like you said, it's nothing that serious. I don't believe it's something that serious, nor do I think it could get that serious. But I feel like at the end of the day, they have to treat it, even if they're not the best of friends, treat it just as cordial and business, bro. I mean, you guys, when they're both on, they're two of the best players in the game, no doubt about that. So just treat it as business. I mean, I brought up the comparison to JV maybe a week or two ago, or when did this report first come out? I think it was about a week ago. I told JV, I was like, look, be honest, at times Jeter and A-Rod didn't have the best relationship, but we know the talent that those two had. Like, you got to coexist, bro. I mean, these guys are getting paid top dollar. And, like, Lindor, I don't see Lindor ever getting traded from the Mets, bro. Like, that's the captain. Like, I mean, not officially yet, but maybe this season he'll officially be announced as the captain. But, bro, that's the top dog, and that's the clubhouse leader. I feel like that's the guy they respect the most there. You can't trade a guy like that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, though, bro.
Oh, my gosh. Here's this guy right now. Go ahead, JV.
No, I'm just saying. I don't know about that because Soto said that Marte was the leader of that team, and he wasn't even there a full year yet. And there was other guys that said that Marte was the leader of that team as well.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Who, in your opinion, does Cohen look as the top guy there?
Oh no, absolutely. I'm just saying, like the players may have a different view of
And
what
what
Cohen,
Hector
what
said-
Cohen does.
What Heck just said as well about DT Alex and everything like that, I think that is such a phenomenal point, Heck, that a lot of people let that go over their head, but they're not trading a guy like that, bro. That is a fundamental piece, and I know Roe has a great point. You got to make your $700 million guy happy, absolutely. But if at one point you're getting paid $700 million, you guys don't have to be the best of friends. You guys don't have to be. Don't treat it like you guys have to be out going out to dinner like that. No, it's business. Keep it cordial. And if those two are healthy and on top of their game, that's what makes the team so dangerous, bro.
I also too, shout out to Italian Stallion in the building. When you talk about Starling Marte, I saw it last year. Starling Marte is like a quote unquote leader in that clubhouse. What was great about it, my man making millions, walking around in flip flops, eating his food, like eating his potato salad, eating his rice and beans before every game. He's living it up. But it's the relationship that Starling Marte has with Juan Soto. It goes back to when they were teenagers. It goes in the Dominican Republic. That's how far their relationship goes back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to jump in on this also.
Wasn't Brandon Nimmo a guy too that didn't really care for him? Wasn't there some type of report that Nimmo had an issue with him being potentially named captain, I think?
Yeah, but I don't think that was on a personal standpoint. I think that was more on the standpoint that Nimmo felt like maybe he deserved it as well. I mean, he was. I thought maybe it was a personal beef. Yeah, no, he was longest tenured Met. He leads by example. He was a solid leader from what we all saw. If you're a competitor and you're gonna have a problem with that to an extent if it's not you. Yeah, you'll be happy for your teammate, which I'm sure you will be, but you're also gonna have a little of that inside, like, should have been me.
Yeah.
But on the other aspect, though, if I think it really got to that point, who would they get rid of, Soto or Lindor? If the Mets had the organization had to make a decision, I think they're going to stick with Soto. If I'm just putting that out there, I don't think it's going to get to that point. I think the Cohens will drag both of them into a room by their ears, sit them down, and make them figure out whatever their issues are. So. I mean, we'll see how that plays out, but I don't see a world where he actually does get moved. But if they're going to pick one 27-year-old, you just signed to a monster contract, or respectfully Lindor, because I love Lindor, but aging shortstop.
I just want to say real quick, this live stream is brought to you by the Oreos that JV is eating on his side of the screen because of the fucking noise he's making.
I'm sorry, I'm not eating anything. I was pushing a piece of paper out of the way, actually.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm not actually eating, Carly.
I'll say this. Like Mike said, I think he perfectly nailed. They'll drag him into the room. They'll immediately say, look, you guys are getting paid a shit ton of money, excuse my language, to act like, obviously you guys don't have to be the best of friends, but you guys are two talented players that we obviously want to keep in this roster because we know that increases you being here on this roster increases the chances of winning tremendously. So come on.
I just want to say shout out to Greg that's in the chat. I haven't seen Greg or heard his voice in a very long time. Greg, I hope all is well. I hope you didn't get lost. I miss you so much. Go ahead, whoever wants to go.
What up, Greg? If I could also address Froggy in the chat saying that he thinks McNeil's days are numbered, I completely agree. I think the problem for the Mets getting rid of McNeil is finding an actual suitor. He's getting paid a little over than what he's producing, so I think that's just they're just trying to figure that out. Who's willing to take him? I know Stearns came out and said that he likes Jeff McNeil, he's versatile, he's this and that. If you guys have been paying any attention to David Stearns, he does not tip his hand whatsoever. He addresses the team that he has in front of him at that given time when he speaks. He does not talk about who he might get, who he's looking at, if and buts about it. He strictly talks about the team that is currently rostered, and that's how he addresses the team. So that's what he's going to do. So if you guys haven't figured that out by now, maybe there was a little cheat code. I think McNeil's going to be moved. I was surprised that McNeil didn't get moved last offseason, to be honest with you. But now with this extra Lindor issue that has come out, they had the first beef where they made it up that it was a rat or a squirrel or whatever. Then there was the if he wins the batting title, I'll buy him a car. It took Francisco Lindor nearly a year to get him the car. I think he did it opening day the following season. And now this added to the Soto thing. Listen, if there's any validity to this Soto thing now, along with the Jeff McNeil thing, who did Lindor piss off that they're running this smear campaign against them? That's what I'd like to know.
No, I think what it is if Brandon Nimmo on his way out, I think Brandon Nimmo is just letting the tea out. I think he's just leaking information to beat reporters because he feels that the Mets did him wrong. Even though they gave him a 5-year contract that was worth over $100 million, he felt like he should have been the captain of the team. He felt like the Mets should have been built around him. Jeff, Brandon Nimmo, you're a phenomenal baseball player. You have more athleticism in your pinky than I do in my whole body, but you're not better than Francisco Lindor or Juan Soto. I'm sorry.
No. And listen, if that's the case, I think that's pretty childish, in my opinion. I think the world of Nimmo. He was one of my favorite Mets players. If that's the case, if that's how he went out, where he's just going to start leaking information because he's bitter about a trade, I mean, if this is true, my personal opinion, my personal take, show some class. Honestly, there's no reason for that. Why would you're mad at the organization? Fine. Now you're going to go after your ex-teammates. They said they didn't do anything to you.
Well, he was the one that waived the no-trade clause. The Mets were actually content on keeping him. They asked him, hey, are you willing to waive your no-trade clause? They said, we'll give you as much time as possible. He took like 6 days, I think he said, with him and his family. And he said, okay, sure, if it's for the betterment of me and the team, sure, I'll accept it. I'll waive the no-trade. So I have no pity for Brandon Nimmo. I'm sorry. He made his own bed.
Also, too, right? Apologies to Brandon Nimmo. If it's not him being bitter, it could probably be the same person who started all of this, fucking Adam Ottavino. As soon as Adam Ottavino went on foul territory and started talking that ish and started spilling the tea, you don't think a lot of beat reporters were hitting up Adam Ottavino to get some quotes? Absolutely, they were. I shot him a DM to have him on my show. He never responded to me. Fuck him. But I guarantee you, beat reporters were hitting him up just to get a quote.
Absolutely, they had to be, bro. They had to be. Honestly, that's not a bad pull. That honestly could be something that's happening. Wow, I didn't think about that.
I believe that. I could maybe that's a little more realistic because Adam Ottavino was very he seemed to be very bitter with his comments. I'll be honest. I think that could even go back to the playoffs. They pretty much left him off the roster. I mean, with all due respect to Adam Ottavino, at that point in his career, you weren't the same guy. And dude, by the time you threw the ball, the guy could have stole second, rounded, and went to third. With how long that you took to actually throw the pitch. I mean, it was a little ridiculous. So, I mean, that's maybe part of the reason why you were left off that roster, and more so an emergency aspect. So he seemed very bitter. I didn't really like that. And like, I'm not one – I've never been a part of a Major League Baseball team. I think that's fairly obvious. But – You leave a team and you're going to sit here and start spilling some inside crap of what went on in the clubhouse and what went on here. I think that's classless. To say that it was Ottavino compared to Nimmo, I believe that way more. I'll be honest with you. I do. The Nimmo thing, I think he took a shot at Stearns at the press conference. I think that was the Nimmo way to do it. But Ottavino, I mean, what are we doing here? Trying to stay relevant? You just retired, man. Enjoy it.
Yeah, this is the same guy that when he got traded to the Yankees, he seriously had a conversation about how the Yankees should allow him to wear the number 3.
No, is that real?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that was real.
I didn't even know that was real. That's.
I think he's got CTE. He may need a brain scan or something. I'm not sure.
First player with CTE in the MLB.
Yeah, I don't know how that's crazy. That's wild.
Like that's insane. There's one thing I did want to bring up now with the winter meetings coming very close. What market do you guys see like ramping up towards, the winter meetings? Actually, the relief market. Do you see the starting pitching market like getting fully ramped up with Valdez, Michael King? That's honestly where my mind's at right now, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm just say
pitching
this real quick.
Oh, sorry.
No, my fault. Go ahead, JB.
No, I was gonna say I think it's the pitching. I think it's always the pitching first. I was gonna say because I heard Brian Cashman yesterday said that they're gonna really address the bullpen. So I think most teams are gonna do that. So I think the starters and the relievers are really gonna set the market off. That's what I was gonna say.
I was going to say real quick, I'm just excited that moves are happening right now instead of everybody sitting back and waiting on Juan Soto, because that's what happened last year. There were no moves, if any moves made before Juan Soto signed. As soon as the only move that was made was the Willie Adames move to San Francisco, and then the Juan Soto move happened.
Didn't Blake Snell happen right before it?
Yeah,
too?
Blake Snell happened too.
And Blake Snell.
Yeah, Blake Snell and Willie Adames, they happened first. Those were the first two moves.
No, but nothing. That was it. Nothing little. Nothing. And Kikuchi to the Angels. He was the first real signing. I remember. But
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and Christian Walker came. He had signed the same day as Juan Soto, but it wasn't official until later that night.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of just hope that the winter meetings has all the rumors, especially if we could maybe get a low-key trade going on around that time. That would be great. Like, let's just get a low-key trade that's cooking up underneath the table right now. That would be phenomenal, whether it's Ketel Marte. I doubt Scooble. I don't know. I don't think Scooble gets traded, guys. I just don't see it, to be honest.
No, I think
Fernando Tatis.
There you go. I love that.
Fernando Tatis.
I love that.
That's what I want to see out of San Diego.
Me too. Honestly, me too. I feel like that would be blockbuster for sure.
I can see the Mets and Yankees being in on him, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I completely agree with that.
It's kind of the AAV is kind of friendly too. I think it's under $30 million. I think his last 3 years were the most expensive years for that deal.
Oh yeah, Tatis. Even his last 3 years is a bargain right now. If Alex Bregman was getting $40 million last year, Fernando Tatis making 35, 36 towards the later stages of his career is a bargain.
Yep.
You can see the Red Sox getting involved in that or not?
In a Tatis trade, I don't know. I think the Red Sox are trying to save their prospects for Joe Ryan. I think the Red Sox they see Joe Ryan as a priority for them.
I hear you. Honestly, that does make sense.
I can see the Mets getting Joe Ryan too, if in case they don't want to go and dip into the $400 million waters for Scooble.
Hey, shout out to Donnie who's in La Isla right now. She was at a sauce giving event, and she saw Tatis. Shout out to Donnie. Donnie, saludo a ti. I hope you're having a good time down there in PR.
I think the Blue Jays are still not done as well. I still I had Tucker. Honestly, I'm gonna stick with my prediction. I had Tucker going to the Yankees. That was my prediction in the original video we did on JBM. I'm gonna stick with it. But I feel like the Blue Jays, if they are gonna pick between Tucker and Bichette, and like they're weighing the options, dang, that's gonna be a tough one. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like, do you want to keep the chemistry and keep the team flowing with Bichette, or do you want to get like a bat that you could pair with Vlad and Kyle Tucker? That would be crazy. I don't know.
Listen, I shout out to Grace. I'm not sure if Grace is still here, but my co-host Grace Monroe is in the building. For me, when making my list of where do I see free agents going, I have Kyle Tucker going to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays they have the second richest owner in baseball. Yeah. They have all this money. They tasted the World Series. Honestly, I think the Blue Jays should have won. They had several times that Major League Baseball screwed them over because they was trying to, Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. Fuck them. I think the Rogers ownership group is going to go hard this offseason. We already saw it. They already signed Dylan Cease. I think they're going to spend money. I wouldn't be surprised if they signed Edwin Diaz. Not even the Dodgers. I wouldn't be surprised if Edwin Diaz signs with the Blue Jays.
I was gonna say, you know what? That's a good idea, Heck, because their offense wasn't the issue. Their offense is very potent. They don't strike out. They make contact. So I could see them showing up their pitching rather than maybe bolstering that lineup. Because I think if they bring back the majority of that lineup, you know, it's a pretty good lineup. Even if they do lose Bichette, I mean, they proved that they could play without him. They got to the World Series basically without Bichette. I think he came back game 3 or 4 of the World Series. So I mean, they already got a taste of getting there without him. So I personally think they're going to attack their starting pitching still and their bullpen.
I just got a text message from Grace. She says, "Oh my God, I don't know how to TikTok." Grace, don't worry. I love you, Grace. Thank you for being in the building. Thank you for showing up. Shout out to Grace Monroe.
That's amazing. I actually have a scary scenario that I've created in my head for Yankee fans as far as the Toronto Blue Jays go. Take Kyle Tucker off the table. Let's say he doesn't go there. My prediction, mind you, because I know you guys are so curious as to what I think. But I had Tucker surprisingly going to the Red Sox. I don't know why. I've been feeling that since last offseason. And that was before Devers got traded. And I've been saying that for a long time. So I'm sticking with it. Why not? Let's go bold. But I have a scenario for the Toronto Blue Jays that they do get better and they can potentially create and make themselves the juggernaut of the American League. They re-sign Bo Bichette. They trade for and have Arizona eat a nice chunk of the money, which they essentially give up a hefty return, but trade for Ketel Marte and use the rest of that money that maybe they would have used towards Kyle Tucker and use it for their rotation and their bullpen. That team is stacked. They are going to be a serious issue for the next 5 years.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, that could be something. Yeah, that could be something.
That's a scary scenario. You're looking at a team that was this far away from winning a World Series, legitimately.
Oh, we got Greg. I want to bring up Greg real quick. Greg, don't say anything disrespectful, all right?
This is going to be a long one.
Greg, I didn't see you down there. Greg, I miss you, bro.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on, guys. I'm talking to my boss.
Okay. I just muted you, Greg. Just unmute yourself, all right?
$100. Like Greg's boss is like, "Why are you on the phone at work?"
I'll take that bet.
All right,
I take that. Oh, wait, hold on. We can't say the B word. We can't say the 3-letter B word. I mean, the 4-letter B word that ends with an S.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
Just saying.
I'll take that action.
I'm ready for a starting pitching signing, bro. Give me a Michael King. I don't know. Give me a Michael King signing, a Zach Gallen signing.
Yeah, give me a Zach Gallen to the Orioles.
There you go. Give me one of those, or to the Angels.
The Angels, yeah.
No, I've been seeing because Roro brought up Jeff McNeil's trade market, and I see how the Pirates are rumored as the favorites for Jeff McNeil. What's your thoughts on that?
What are they gonna get? What are they gonna get? I mean,
Jared Triolo.
Here's what I'll do. Here's my trade proposal to the Pirates. We send you Jeff McNeil. You don't got to send us anything back. We'll even eat a third of the money. You put that Roberto Clemente sign back in the outfield, and you don't touch it for
Forever.
Yeah,
the trade offer. That's my trade offer to the Pirates. That's
I'll take it.
no respect to Jeff McNeil, but what the Pirates did to Roberto Clemente, that was ridiculous.
That was disgusting.
So it needs to be fixed. Let Cohen fix that too.
Yeah, man, that was disgusting.
Froggy said, "Send Jeff McNeil to the Pirates, aka Purgatory."
Now, I want to ask you, JV, because my guy Jacob Petruzzi. Shout out to Jacob Petruzzi, one of the best moderators out there on the internet. Jacob had this question in the chat: who would you rather the Yankees get? And then obviously everybody else could chime in. Imai or Sandy Alcantara?
Ooh, that's a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna go because he's major league tested already. I would say I'll go Alcantara. I just think with all that control and the youth,
Right, I'm back, Daddy. I'm back. I'm sorry.
And what we,
Greg,
what we've
Greg,
seen from
Greg, you're being wild Dominican right now, right? Somebody was talking and you interrupting them. Que lo que?
Yo, Miss Khalifa's my wife now, so.
oh, no. No, yeah. Listen, I think I would like to say Alcantara, but honestly, Imai, with the things I've heard, he throws 99. He's got great movement. It obviously wouldn't cost us any players or prospects for him. It's just money at this point. That's really a tough one. But I mean, the Yankees had Alcantara, man. That could be a wild rotation.
When you look at Sandy's he signed for this upcoming season, 2026, at 17.3, and there's a club option for 2027. So he's a free agent after 2 seasons.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know, because you just don't know what's going to happen with Imai. Is it gonna be a successful crossover? I think I think he'll be fine, because I think his stuff speaks for itself from what I've seen and heard. But obviously the major league game is a lot different than the game in Japan, so that comes into effect. But I wouldn't mind either. How about that? I really wouldn't mind either. I don't want to be that's the vanilla answer, but I really wouldn't mind either at all, to be honest with you.
Very politician answer of you. I would say if Sandy was coming off of his Cy Young season, you trade all the prospects in the world for Sandy. The fact that he's a free agent after 2 years, and you got Imai, who I don't think Imai may be an ace, but he doesn't have to be an ace with the Yankees.
Yeah.
We already have Rodon. I mean, we already have Cole. We already have Max Fried. We got Rodon. Imai would be the perfect 3 or the perfect 4 in the Yankees rotation. And when you see the market right now, when you got other pitchers making $28, $29, $30 million, $25 million for number 3 or 4 starter is not bad in Imai. So I would honestly take Imai over Sandy because of Sandy's injury history and inconsistency over the past 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sorry, I disagree. I disagree very highly. Because
what happened to Greg? Oh, he got muted. Greg, my fault. I didn't mean to unmute you. Sorry.
okay, don't let it happen again. Like I was saying, Sandy is Sandy, guys. Okay, I'm sorry. He's Sandy. He's proven that he's a Cy Young. I'm not gonna take no Korean player for Sandy.
He's Japanese. He's Japanese. Let's not be disrespectful.
No, I didn't know he was Japanese. I thought he was Korean.
No.
Anyways, like I was saying, I would not take anyone from Japan over Sandy at all. I'm sorry. Would I give up half the farm system? No. But would you have to give some top prospects? Of course. But if you have a chance to go get Sandy, you go get that. You go get him. Hands down. But anyways, he's not going to the Yankees anyways. He's going to the Mets.
This guy's
He's cooked, JB.
he's so chub.
Greg, first things first, I love you. You're amazing. That was amazing. I completely disagree. Hector, I'm with you there. I just don't trust Sandy. I don't trust him with his injury history, and I'm sorry, since he's been back, I'm not impressed. There's been flashes, don't get me wrong, but I'm not impressed. By this point, we should have seen a string 5, 6, 7, 8 starts where more like himself. He hasn't done that for me. So, and especially the price tag that the Marlins are trying to attach to him, take a walk.
What's the price tag?
I would say real quick. If Sandy had 4 years of control over 2 years of control, I'll do it. But the fact that he's a free agent after 2 years and you may miss out on a Japanese player who he has shown you that, one, he don't want to pitch with the Dodgers. He wants to pitch against the Dodgers and beat them. 2, if you understand like Japanese culture, they're very reserved. He's not. He is out there. He is letting his personality show. This kid got arrested as a teenager for smoking weed in his uniform outside of the hotel.
No way.
Who's that?
Imai. He's different.
I love that. Honestly, I love that.
Yeah, I like
That's
it.
amazing. That's honestly amazing. For Sandy, and here's another thing I feel like people aren't talking about exactly. There could be a situation where they just don't trade him at all. And that's because look at the Marlins and how competitive they were as a team last year. Make a few offseason moves. They were like, I think they got eliminated from wild card contention maybe 3 or 4 days before the season ended. I know it was a long shot for them to get in, but
That's a
they
good
have a
point,
very
too.
fun, competitive team. If they make some good additions, like I see they're involved in Pete Fairbanks. I see potentially, I think they were involved in Ryan Helsley as well. Didn't happen, but they were involved in Devin Williams. Didn't happen. But if they get like a Pete Fairbanks or a guy like this, and maybe they could add into that, they could add another bat into the lineup. Maybe a Ryan O'Hearn. We talked about that previously. Look, I don't know if I would. I mean, that rotation by itself isn't even a bad rotation. Sandy, Yuri Perez, Edward Cabrera. I understand why they would want to trade one of them, but they got prospects coming up as well. So I don't know.
I would love for the Yankees to address their middle innings holes with a guy like Fairbanks. Him in the seventh or eighth inning would be. He's a real nice plug in anybody's bullpen, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I listen. I love Sandy. I've always been a fan of Sandy, but like Roro said, injury concerns.
Mm-hmm.
If he had 4 years of control, it'd be different. If they weren't asking for top 5 prospects in the farm system, I'll do it. But the fact that they're asking for top five prospects in the farm system, like this is Sandy who won a Cy Young a couple of years ago. To me, that's where you lose me.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think that's a great point. There's a lot that's about to go down, I feel like, in the next few days we just don't see coming, but I think that's going to be the fun thing heading into the winter meetings. I'm super excited, to be honest.
No, same. And like I said, I'm going to be live every day down there in Orlando at the hotel. I'm starting. I fly out December 6th. So we'll have the first live down there. But like I said, Brew is going to be with me. Roro is going to be with me. JV is going to be with me. It's going to be a good time. Fellas, any last thing you guys want to touch on before we get ready to get out of here?
No, I think we're good. I'm good.
Let me get a hot take, JV. Let's get a hot take. Who's signing where?
Hit him,
Hot
JV.
take. I will say that. You know what? I think the Yankees are going to surprise people. Kyle Tucker to the Yankees.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Oh my God.
I'm not surprised. What about you, Brew?
It's called a hot take, bro.
Well, it is. It's just a homer. Like, don't pick your team. Come on. What is that?
I actually picked the Phillies to sign him, but I just don't see the Phillies doing anything now. I think they're
No, I was
soft.
just talking about this hot take right here. I thought you were going to give us like maybe a trade or something like that. I do got a hot take for you right here. I think. How about this? And I really think this has some validity behind it. We talked about it earlier. I think Tatis will be traded by the end of this month. I'm convinced.
Okay, solid. Roro, what about you? Hot take before we get out of here?
Just hold on. My headphones died, so I had to get rid of them.
All good.
All right, so this is gonna go into the Sandy thing. My hot take is the Marlins are gonna talk themselves right out of a trade. They're gonna ask for the moon and back for Sandy. They are not going to move him. They're gonna look to move him at the deadline. And not that I wish this on anyone, but this is a very Marlins thing to happen. Alcantara will get hurt right before the deadline, and then they will be in the same situation they're in next offseason.
Why would you say that, bro? That's like when you said that Paul Skeens was going to get TJ this past year.
Jeez.
Numbers.
Chat, hopefully Ro doesn't wish TJ upon you guys.
I'm not
actually,
wishing it upon anybody.
Actually, my actual hot take, because I was only kidding. I think the Dodgers may actually explore a trade for Tyler Glass now. I think they're going to trade Glass now.
I like that. I low-key like that.
I was reading some stuff the other day that the Dodgers may be interested in shedding some starting pitching. They didn't actually name Glass now, but if you take a look at what Glass now has left on his deal and what he could give you, I think if he could give you 20 starts, honestly, it's almost like a win. So I think that if there's a team that maybe needs like a middle of the rotation type guy, you don't need him to be a 1 or a 2, and you kind of throw him in the middle of your rotation and pray that he can give you 20 to 22 starts. Honestly, and maybe the Dodgers get some help by trading him. I think you can see it. A guy like Tyler Glasnow getting dealt.
Yeah. I got a hot take. The Dodgers, if Glasnow out of their starters can get you back the most in return. So I just want to put that out there. I think the Dodgers are trading for Steven Kwan.
Ooh,
that's my hot take. Steven Kwan is going to be a Dodger next year.
I would have loved him to be a Yankee too. I would have traded Steven Jones for him.
I like that. Honestly, that's a good one. I could see that. I could truly see that too.
They have the prospects to do it. They have the willingness to do it when it comes to trading their prospects. The Dodgers, hate them or love them, they're one of the best, if not the best, teams in Major League Baseball when it comes to evaluating their own prospects and understanding their value for their prospects. They know which prospects to keep and which prospects to trade. That's why they was quick to trade Alex Verdugo's bum ass. Anywho. Sorry, Alex Verdugo. You just caught it straight. Shout out to my friend Ella in the building. Ella, thank you so much for the hot meat. Hope all is well, my friend. Like I said, I'll be down in Orlando for the MLB winter meetings. It's your guy Hector Beauchamp, Uptown Sports TV, Latino Sports, Brew, JV, Roro. Let them know where they can follow you guys. Each and every one of you guys.
Yeah, just follow here on Brew Crew SW on TikTok. Also the Instagram Brew Crew SW. Follow JBM Sports Media down below. JBM Sports Media here on TikTok. Follow that on Instagram as well as YouTube. We have sports, I'll say props. We have sports props because that's the word you could say. I've been on dirt recently, so I'll just say that. Appreciate your guys' support. Heck with the amazing platform. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. The same thing he said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to regurgitate basically what Bruce said. JBM Sports Media, you see me here. My TikTok, my personal account, RoastStep22. Our Instagram, JBM Sports Media. We have a YouTube. We're looking for subscribers. We're looking for new people to like, follow, throw us comments, come up with your hot takes in our videos. We're going to be doing this a lot more. Obviously, like Hector had mentioned, he's going to be live for the winter meetings. If you think we're not going to be there chopping it up just like we are now, then I think you're crazy. You just don't know how crazy we are. So we will definitely be there.
Let's go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I got me this nightlight from Japan. It's the dragon from Dragon Ball. Just want to show you.
That's dope.
Yeah, it actually is a nightlight. I just can't get it to work because I don't understand instructions because I'm stupid. Anywho, appreciate all you guys. JV, Roro, Brew, love y'all. Folks in the chat, come on, holla.